Right, I'm not really dressed for the occasion, but finished work, and in the post was the new fuel valve, vacuum fuel valve. My partner's waiting for me to go for a meal, but I'm eager to see and hear this bike run. So I've fitted the new fuel valve. I put not a lot of fuel in the tank. I haven't connected up the fuel gauge yet, so I'm not going to do that before we start it. I've also fitted a new battery to the bike. So where is that? That's the fuel gauge connected. Right. Fuel in the bike. New battery. It'll take a little while to crank, I would imagine. But cool. I don't know where that's coming from, but it is pissing fuel everywhere. I really don't want to get it on my jeans, like I said. I'm supposed to be going out for a meal. Oh, great. Where is that coming from? It's not coming out of the tank. Trying to pull the fuel lines off. Are we still driven? No, we're stopped now, but where the hell was that coming from? Oh. Oh no, it's fuel. I thought it was coolant. Right, what I'll do, I'll find out where the fuel's coming from, but it does run. That's a good thing, I suppose. I'll find out where the fuel's coming from and then come back to you. I don't know how it's still running without the tank on. There we go. So the engine sounds really good. It did run idle for about 5 minutes without the tank on. I had to take the spark plug out of the cylinder because something's catastrophically wrong with the carb. It overfueled completely on the bike and the piston filled up with fuel and it hydrolocked. So I had to take the spark plug out and turn it over, and it sprayed fuel everywhere, all over my motocross bike, everywhere. So I think the carb was, as you can see in the previous video, it was filthy. Unless I've missed something, or the new vacuum hose connector that goes in the tank is well, supposedly new, but it's probably a Chinese part. So I'm going to take that off and test that. It could just be down to a faulty part. Right, I think the fuel is coming out of the overflow on the carb, because it's completely, for some reason, the fuel is just pouring straight through the bike. It's going straight through the intake and it's just filling up the bore. It got to a point where the bore had actually the fuel, there was so much fuel inside the piston that it prevented the piston from moving up and down. It had hydrolocked, so I had to take spark plug out, turn it over and spray all the fuel out. What I'm putting it down to is one or two things. Either the 15-pound fuel tank vacuum part that I needed, that I showed in part 1, the new part is faulty and it's just causing the same problems happen again. The fuel just continuously run through the bike, or the float bowl inside the carb is sticking open, allowing the fuel just to continuously flow through the bike. Because what I noticed was, when I took the tank off of the bike, the vacuum fuel line shouldn't leak fuel. It's got a diaphragm in there that stops the fuel from coming out. But even when I took the tank off with no pipes connected to it, sorry, just hear my mates on my headsets. It was still leaking fuel out. So I think the I'm 90% sure it's the diaphragm on the tank, the vacuum diaphragm. So I've messaged the seller explaining the situation. I'm just going to ask for a refund because I'd rather just try and find a better quality part. I'm going to try and source one from Honda, even though they're a little bit more money. I am planning on keeping this bike for myself, so if I have to spend 30 or 40 quid on the vacuum, then so be it. I'd rather that than have the headache of, you know, when I do go and run it one day and it cuts out on me, or the fuel starts to leak with the oil again. So I'll release this video showing it running, but it still has issues. It still needs a fair bit of work doing to it, but it does run. The engine sounds really good. Luckily, the fuel that did go through the engine, it didn't go in the oil. I've checked the oil. There's no contaminant in there. So the next video will be it fixed, and I'll explain in that exactly what it was that caused the fuel to completely piss out the overflow. And then in the last video, I don't want to make it too long, I'll show you rebuilding the forks, rebuilding the calipers, and just showing you it all cleaned up and ready for an MOT. And I might even record the MOT process. But yeah, thanks for watching.